Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Peacock TV, spoilers here. And today is a beautiful Thursday to unpack the absolute madness happening in Salem. We have been tracking these explosive summer storylines for weeks, and the community is completely divided over this latest cliffhanger. Grab your coffee, because we need to talk. Peacock TV spoilers. We have been tracking this for weeks, and the situation unfolding on Thursday, the 2nd of July, 2026, is nothing short of psychological warfare. Let us start by talking about Joy Wesley and Alex Kiriakis. Joy Wesley is currently at the Brady pub with Alex Kiriakis, and Joy Wesley is putting on an absolute masterclass in manipulation. Joy Wesley is wearing a top with a deeply plunging neckline, intentionally showing off a massive amount of cleavage and midriff. Let's be real for a second. Joy Wesley is not dressing like this for a casual afternoon pint at the local pub. Joy Wesley is executing a highly calculated physical distraction. I personally believe Joy Wesley is one of the most manipulative characters Days of Our Lives has introduced in years, and I absolutely hate what Joy Wesley is doing to Alex Kiriakis. Alex Kiriakis is a man who desperately wants to be a good father to Kelsey Kiriakis, and Joy Wesley is weaponizing that desire. But here's the kicker. While Alex Kiriakis is distracted by the physical display Joy Wesley is putting on, there is a much darker theory floating around. Is Joy Wesley simply trying to seduce Alex Kiriakis? Or is Joy Wesley actually using this moment to hide the phone belonging to Alex Kiriakis? That's crazy. If Joy Wesley is hiding the phone, we have to ask why. Is Stephanie Kiriakis trying to call Alex Kiriakis? Is Joy Wesley actively trying to isolate Alex Kiriakis from the outside world so Joy Wesley can secure the Kiriakis fortune for herself? This completely reminds me of what Teresa Donovan did to Brady Black back in the day, using physical temptation and isolation to trap a wealthy Kiriakis heir. Joy Wesley is playing a very dangerous game, and Alex Kiriakis is walking right into the trap. Meanwhile, across town, Kayla Johnson is sitting down and listening to Stephanie Kiriakis completely unravel. Stephanie Kiriakis is nagging and venting, and I can guarantee you that Stephanie Kiriakis is talking about Joy Wesley. I want to passionately defend Stephanie Kiriakis here. Stephanie Kiriakis recently survived a terrifying kidnapping at the hands of Owen Kent. Stephanie Kiriakis is suffering from severe PTSD. And now, instead of receiving support from Alex Kiriakis, Stephanie Kiriakis has to watch her husband get manipulated by Joy Wesley. It is absolutely heartbreaking. Stephanie Kiriakis is losing her mind. And frankly, Stephanie Kiriakis has every single right to be furious. Kayla Johnson is doing her best to be a supportive mother. But Kayla Johnson knows exactly how toxic the Kiriakis men can be when the Kiriakis men are torn between two women. This dynamic between Stephanie Kiriakis, Kayla Johnson, and the looming shadow of Joy Wesley brings up so much history. Kayla Johnson fought for decades to maintain her relationship with Steve Johnson despite constant outside interference. Kayla Johnson recognizes the exact same pain in the eyes of Stephanie Kiriakis. If you ask me, this is a huge mistake because Alex Kiriakis is completely abandoning Stephanie Kiriakis during the darkest mental health crisis Stephanie Kiriakis has ever faced. Stephanie Kiriakis deserves a partner who prioritizes her healing, not a partner who is easily distracted by the cleavage of Joy Wesley at the Brady pub. Moving over to the hospital, we have a deeply emotional situation developing between Sarah Horton and Brady Black. Sarah Horton is opening up to Brady Black about the terrifying medical crisis surrounding Holly Jonas. Sarah Horton is a brilliant doctor, but Sarah Horton is currently facing a situation that medical science might not be able to fix. Sarah Horton tells Brady Black that Sarah Horton desperately wants to reassure Holly Jonas that everything will be okay. However, Sarah Horton refuses to make a promise to a patient that Sarah Horton cannot guarantee. Amazing. Can you believe the ethical strength of Sarah Horton? Sarah Horton has lost a child before, baby Mickey, and Sarah Horton knows the absolute devastation of false hope. Brady Black is the perfect person for Sarah Horton to confide in right now. Brady Black has been actively investigating the Demera Pharmaceuticals drug scandal alongside Sarah Horton, and Brady Black understands the massive stakes involved. Sarah Horton is watching Holly Jonas deteriorate, and Sarah Horton is carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. I absolutely love Sarah Horton for maintaining her medical integrity, even when it breaks the heart of Sarah Horton to tell Holly Jonas the brutal truth. Sarah Horton is proving why Sarah Horton is the best doctor in Salem, but the psychological toll this is taking on Sarah Horton is immense. And that brings us to the absolute bombshell revelation regarding E.J. Demera. Peacock TV spoilers. We have been waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it is finally happening. E.J. Demera is discovering that something is horribly, catastrophically wrong on Smith Island. E.J. Demera has a spy tracking the movements of Brady Black, and this spy informs E.J. Demera that Brady Black has been taking water samples from the island. Suddenly, the terrifying truth hits E.J. Demera like a freight train. E.J. Demera realizes that the tainted Versavix drugs from 2 years ago were not destroyed. The tainted drugs were buried on Smith Island. And now, those highly toxic pills are degrading and seeping directly into the groundwater and the local wells. This is a monumental disaster. E.J. Demera now knows exactly why Holly Jonas got so incredibly sick after visiting Smith Island. Holly Jonas was literally drinking poisoned groundwater. This reminds me of what Stefano Demera used to do back in the 1990s and 2000s. Stefano Demera was the king of biological warfare and toxic cover-ups. Stefano Demera would have anticipated this groundwater seepage, and Stefano Demera would have had a brilliant, evil backup plan. But E.J. Demera is not Stefano Demera. E.J. Demera is panicking. E.J. Demera is realizing that E.J. Demera is not just facing drug distribution charges, but E.J. Demera is now facing federal charges for a massive environmental and public health catastrophe. The tragic irony of this entire situation is currently playing out with Tate Black and Holly Jonas. While E.J. Demera is scrambling to cover up the poisoned groundwater, Tate Black and Holly Jonas are spending quiet time together, reminiscing about old memories. Tate Black and Holly Jonas are trying to find a sliver of happiness amidst the chaos. Tate Black is completely devoted to Holly Jonas, but neither Tate Black nor Holly Jonas fully understands that the body of Holly Jonas has been ravaged by the negligence of E.J. Demera. It is a beautiful, heartbreaking scene between Tate Black and Holly Jonas, but it makes the crimes of E.J. Demera feel even more unforgivable. Now, it is time for the hot take section, and I know this is going to spark a massive debate in the comments. I personally believe that E.J. Demera is going to completely escape justice for the Smith Island water poisoning. Why? Because E.J. Demera is going to frame Xander Kiriakis for the entire environmental disaster. E.J. Demera already hates Xander Kiriakis, and E.J. Demera knows that Xander Kiriakis has a history of doing dirty work for the Demera family. E.J. Demera will plant evidence suggesting that Xander Kiriakis was the one who buried the drugs on Smith Island, effectively clearing the name of E.J. DiMera while sending Xander Kiriakis straight to Statesville Prison. You heard it here first. Let us weave in some predictive lore based on the internal logic of Days of Our Lives. If the groundwater on Smith Island is severely contaminated with experimental DiMera drugs, we are looking at a potential quarantine storyline. The Salem Health Department, led by Sarah Horton, is going to have to shut down access to the island. Anyone who visited Smith Island recently, including Holly Jonas, Tate Black, and potentially Brady Black, is going to require intense medical monitoring. This groundwater crisis is going to be the ultimate catalyst that finally brings the empire of E.J. DiMera crashing down, forcing Johnny DiMera to completely disown E.J. DiMera forever. The stakes have never been higher, and the emotional destruction spreading through Salem is unparalleled. From the manipulative tactics of Joy Wesley against Alex Kiriakis, to the heartbreaking medical ethics of Sarah Horton, and the environmental catastrophe caused by E.J. DiMera, this summer is going to be explosive. Do you think Joy Wesley is actually hiding the phone belonging to Alex Kiriakis? Or is Joy Wesley just using her physical appearance to destroy the marriage of Stephanie Kiriakis? Drop your most wild theories in the comments below, because I read every single one of them. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to Peacock TV Spoilers so you never miss an update on your favorite Salem drama.